Hello world, I'm showing up again. It's weird doing this, so I wasn't sure what to talk about today, and it's weird because if I'm in front of a human being, I'll talk about anything. Well, I won't talk about anything, but I'll certainly happily waffle on about the things that interest me, and I'm pretty boring really. There's only really a few things that really genuinely interest me. One of the biggest things is personal development. It's been my whole life, really, from when I was in my 20s and realising, and probably people will recognise this in themselves, just realising in my 20s something weren't right with me. I don't like saying I'm wrong, but that's how I felt. I felt like I was wrong, that something was broken, something weren't right. And then my life went on and demonstrated that clearly there was something wrong with me because of all the bullshit that I attracted to myself. Crap with money, crap with relationships, not being able to make decisions. Oh, just loads of stuff. Fat, lazy, demotivated, just lots of bullshit. And when I was in my early 20s, I was a single mum. Well, mid-20s, I was a single mum. Mid-20s to early 30s, I was a single mum. Didn't have any money. It was literally, wasn't even living paycheck from paycheck. I was struggling. I was begging for food at some points. It was really tough. Bringing up two kids on my own, dealing with a bit of a control freak ex-husband. So there was a lot going on. And I had to get creative about how I decided to change myself. So I went to this old-fashioned thing, because this was back before the internet, called the library. And I went to the personal development section and I just got out books around coaching and self-coaching and personal development and how to change your life and how to change your mind. And I ended up doing loads of courses, lots of free courses and counselling courses, loads in adult education. I was blessed back in the day. Adult education was affordable, and because I was a low-income family, I received benefits, so that helped me out, that I was able to get courses for cheap and for free. So I did as much as I could. And then in my 30s, I got a job working with unemployed people who were just like me. They were people just like me. And in fact, they were worse off because the programs that I ran were mandatory programs, and they were forced to come or lose their benefits for 2 weeks. And when I sat in one of the first couple of sessions, listening to the guy that had been running them for years, I was like, fucking hell, this is so boring and so patronising. And if I was sitting in one of them chairs watching what was going on, I'd be behaving the way they were behaving. They were pissed off. And I realised that they frightened me. I'm not even going to lie. The group frightened me. I just like, oh my God, I've taken on this job. I didn't even know what it was. I just needed a job. I was like, if I don't do something that makes this worthwhile to these people, they're going to kill me. My life's going to be a bloody misery if I don't make this fun and interesting and worthwhile. So that's what I did. And at the same time as doing that for them, I'm sort of trying to work out my own bullshit. So I ended up sharing all the things that I was learning and integrating it into these workshops that were about helping people find a job, helping them write their CVs, all that stuff, but also about helping them move on to the next stage. What's the next thing for you? You're stuck in this position of unemployment, long-term unemployment, and it's shit. It does really bad things to your self-confidence, your self-belief, your motivation. You get caught in the benefit trap. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And I was we, not just me, we were really successful. And I think we increased people moving on to Summit by like something like 60%. It was incredible. It was just amazing how much people moved on. But it was because I was sharing knowledge that people weren't really sharing with unemployed people. Things about, empowerment and how to change your own life and how to change the way you think about yourself and feel about yourself and talk about yourself and what you're capable of and what's out there for you and what the possibilities are. And people didn't have those conversations with unemployed people. And from there, I went on to freelance work. But all the time, I'm still developing myself, because although it was about them, it wasn't. It was about me. I was a mess. I was slightly better off than them because I was at least working. And I ended up becoming a freelancer, and my work just ended up becoming about personal development programs. And I ran dozens and dozens and dozens over an 8-year period. And in that career, I worked with about 6,000 unemployed people. But then I got pissed off with the sector and the fact that I was working 25 years. I did that game 25 years, and in that 25 years, essentially, the game that I was working within the government sector and all that shit, nothing was changing. The language was changing, the names of the programs were changing, but essentially it was all the same bollocks. And I was like, you know what, I'm done. Not once did a client piss me off in all those years. Not once did a human client piss me off. Management pissed me off, but then I became a manager for a little while and I understand why, because you're stuck in the bullshit. And I was like, no, man, this isn't for me. And by then I changed. But in my 30s, I was doing all these courses. And then when I hit my 40s, I had this massive epiphany that I'd lived my whole life terrified. And I realised that it was literally on my 40th birthday, that if I didn't change my life was going to remain the same as it was till I died. And that was not happening. That ain't happening. That is not happening. And so I got into neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. Changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. I became determined in a way I'd never been determined before, and found a tool that what I liked about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is it's content free. And now I understand, as someone who was at the time and still experiencing symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system and trauma responses, I didn't want the story, nor do I still need the story. But what I loved about NLP was it's content free. In NLP, we believe that the story is just an illusion. It's something we've created in our mind, and it's no greater or lesser true than something else. We've just, through a variety of filters, through generalizing our life, distorting our life, deleting information about our memories and stuff like that, we make up this story. And it doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true. You may have to change it, and that might take a lot of deep work, surface level work, middle level work, and then the deep shit, but it can be changed. But when I did the NLP, I was doing like Tony Robbins, a guy called Chris Howard. Hardly anyone's ever heard of Chris Howard, and he was amazing. I was doing courses, I was crewing on the courses, I was doing all the coaching qualifications. I became a member of the Coaching Federation. I was just doing so much stuff over this 7-8 year period. And as a result of it, I transformed myself. I went in to get rid of terror, and I bloody well did it. I did it. I didn't do it. I did it the hard way, but that was because that's part of my life story, is that everything has to be hard. And I made it hard, but I made it and I did it and I transformed my life. And At 48 years old, I came out of all that training with like this confidence and courage I'd never had before. And I went off traveling for the first time in my life ever. Been away, backpacking for 2.5 years. Rented out my flat in London. Kids had all grown up. And I went off backpacking for 2.5 years around India, Nepal, Southeast Asia. And then realised that there was another life for me, a life I didn't even know I could have had until I got rid of this level of terror. So why am I chatting here, showing up today? Well, one of the reasons is because I think the first thing is to say to people, don't give up. If you don't feel right, don't give up. I'm 62 this year, and I didn't work out what the source of my not feeling right was until I hit 59. And the only reason I found it out was because I refused to give up. I absolutely refused to give up. I had pissed off so many people in my life, my kids, my parents, well, my parent, friends. I know they were all pissed off, and they told me, oh, why do you keep on going on about changing? You're fine the way you are. You're lovely. Or my kids just going, oh my God, Mum, all you do is talk and don't change. And they were right. But what none of us understood was what was going on deeper inside for me. And then when I hit 59 and recognised, oh, fuck, I've been living with complex PTSD, or as I prefer to call it, like a lot of people, a dysregulated nervous system. Oh my God, it was like, I found the answer. And so now I'm not looking, I'm not searching anymore. I am healing and I'm managing myself in a different way. But what I'm able to do now is, now I know what it was about me, I can now let all that go. I can let that quest for personal development go. And now what I'm doing is developing myself so that I can finally be the person I was always meant to be, had I not have been carrying around the bullshit of complex PTSD. And what I am is this. I'm a speaker. I'm someone who inspires people, which is weird to say. Back in the day when I was running the personal development courses, people would always say to me, oh my God, you're really inspiring and you really have helped me a lot. And I found it really difficult to accept that. I really didn't still find it a little bit uncomfortable. But I've got to be real about who I am and how I come across to people. And I do inspire people. And fuck, what an amazing thing to be able to do, to be able to inspire people. And that's why I'm showing up. That's why I'm making these bloody videos, because inspiration's important. It's the spark of breath. It's the thing. It's a light. It's a movement. And if I can inspire someone to hang on in there, or to think about something in a different way, and that's coaching and NLP. Coaching and NLP, both of them are ways of helping someone see outside of themselves. Like when we're in the forest, we can't see the trees, and what coaching and what NLP do is they enable you to step outside a little bit and look in and go, oh yeah, I do that, and maybe that's not helpful, or oh yeah, I do think that way, and maybe that isn't helping me get forward to where I want to go, or oh yeah, I do feel a lot of that emotion and that is sabotaging me in terms of getting forward to my journey where I want to go, or I don't even know where I'm going. So yeah, you gotta hang in there, man. Don't give up. Don't give up. But at the same time, don't keep doing the same things you're doing the same way you're doing them, because what's that saying? If you keep doing the same thing the same way, you get the same results. Well, do you know what? That's bloody true. And the annoying thing, but the reality is, when you start to do things different, shit comes up. It's your shit that's holding you down. It's your shit that's keeping you in the same place you are now. And ultimately, if you truly want to transform, you're going to have to deal with your shit. And is that nice? No, it's not. It's bloody horrible. But then so's living a life that's only half the life that you want to live. That's shit as well. So I made a choice when I was changing myself, transforming myself. I made a choice. I'm going to choose my shit. I'm going to choose what makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to choose what makes me feel scared. I'm going to choose what it is that makes that's hard. I'm going to choose, because life's already putting bollocks on me anyway. It's already making me feel sad, lonely, poor, uncomfortable, dissatisfied, frightened, stressed, anxious, worried. It's already doing that to me, and that's out of my control. So I'm going to take some control back, and I'm going to push myself into shit that is going to ultimately help me get to where I want to go. Because I said it once and I'll say it again. It's the shit you've got to go through. There's a Buddhist Buddha thing, Buddha words. It's a Buddhist thing about a lotus flower. And lotus flowers are beautiful. They're beautiful. But they cannot grow unless they are in mud. They grow in the murkiest, most disgusting looking water. Slime, sometimes brown slime. It looks like shit. But out of that shit grows a beautiful flower, this beautiful plant. And that's a metaphor. And it's not just a metaphor for life. It actually is true. Your change is on the other side of your shit. And unfortunately, you've got to put your big girl pants on, your big old wellies, your wandering personal development wellies. Step through it. Step through it. I did. And I'm really glad I did. And the people I see that are stuck in their journey, keeping on improving, keeping on doing the same thing the same way, or stepping out a little bit and then reverting back to where they were, keep on doing the same thing, step out a little bit, revert back in. That's cool. But at the end of the day, until you face whatever it is that's making you go, oh no, do you know what? I'll go back. I'll go back here. It feels nice and safe. It's all good. I'm all right here. I'm not all right here, but I'm all right here. That thing, whatever that thing is that stopped you, that's the path. There's the gold. That's the bit you got to get through. And until you get through that, you won't move on. And then when you do move on, guess what's going to happen? Something else is going to come up. And then something else is going to come up. And you just keep working through each bit, each bit, each bit, each bit. And if you go back, don't go off in another direction. Face that thing. Because that's another thing that people do, is they'll go, oh God, I don't like that. I think I'll try this instead. I'll try that. But you know what will happen? You'll try that and the same thing's going to come up. It's important. It's important. And I don't want people having to wait. This is where I get upset. I don't want people waiting until they're in their 50s. What a waste. It hasn't been a waste, because obviously I've learned all the things I've learned along the way. But it has been a waste because I've not lived the life that I believe I was meant to live and be the person I was meant to be. I'm beginning to be it now. But like I said, I'm 61 3/4. And I'm doing these videos because, one, even if you are 60s, in your 60s, you can still make changes. You can still do something in your life that you've always wanted to do. You can do that. But I'd much rather someone in their 30s or their 40s worked it out in their 30s and their 40s so they can get the life that they were meant to have. But it's mucky. It's mucky. And it's horrible. And you have to look at things you don't always want to look at. But it's okay, because it won't kill you. It's just going to make you feel a bit shitty. But it's your shit, and it's your journey, and it's your choice. And it'll get you to where you want to go. So, didn't mean to cry. But this means a lot to me. So I've done it again. I've shown up. Yay! Warts and all. So I'll put another one up in a week's time, or unless I'm inspired to do something else. But I'd like to be able to show out without having to put a little bit of foundation and my mascara on. That would be real authenticity. I'm not ready to do that yet. So yeah, my message to you, viewer, person, human being out there, is don't bloody give up. Don't give up. And the thing that's stopping you is the thing you have to go through. There's no question. That's it. Bye. Have a lovely day.